All right, well, welcome back to Garage Story. Today, I want to finish what I started on this Honda Odyssey. I changed out the power steering fluid pump last time, and I did not fix the leak. So today, I want to replace the hose that is leaking. So I flipped the car around in the carport. I put it up on ramp, so I should have enough room under there. And I purchased some other tools that I think will help me get that flare fitting off. So let's hop to it. Hopefully this will be quick and easy. So as a reminder, the hose starts here and it goes all the way around back down there, and you can actually see the fitting from the top side here. If I turn my light, I think you might be able to see it there. It's the chrome fitting. Oh, there you go. Right down there. I say chrome fitting, it's the crow's foot that I left sitting there on the fitting. So let's go to the underside and take the wrench with us and see if we can get it off. So there it is. There's the fitting from the underside here. I don't have a lot of room here unless I run my arm around through here. So I may have the wrench out in this area to the side with my extensions. All right, so this is what it looks like with my wrench out to the side. Hopefully I can get enough leverage here to pop it free. I may have to use a cheater bar. I may have to use both hands instead of holding a camera. But you get the idea. I was not able to get this from the underside, so I'm back on top of the engine. And I think this might work here. I've got my wrench on top here. You can see it sitting there. I just need to pull it up a little bit and get a cheater bar on it. Oh, I just got it. I was just able to give this a little nudge. Yep, breaking free still. Oh, it's free. Woohoo! It's probably a lot less messy being on top of the engine than to be under there when I get this thing off. Oh yeah, it's already leaking there. See that rotating around? Yeah. Yeah. It's getting a little looser. Actually, it feels pretty tight. I think that crow's foot was just the right tool for the job. Yep, got it. Woo! I am super happy about that. That's like the high water mark of this job, I think. So now we got that off. The rest should be pretty straightforward. Just undo a few other bolts, throw the new line in there, and button it back up. Just got a couple bolts like this little guy right here. Right there, it says number 10 on him. I'm blinding you with. And I think there's another one right over there. And then this line should be free to come out. All right, both bolts came out easy. The line looks like it's free now, which means it's going to dump a bunch of fluid, possibly. Some fluid. Still got some green fluid in there. And now we should be able to undo at top and take this thing out and put the new one in. Let's get out from under here. The hose should be free now. There seems to be a temperature sensor on there I need to unplug. Alright, that was really tough to get this thing out, but I did. Finally, thankfully. I should probably hang on to that bracket. But it was just really hard to get this unplugged. So now, just need to unscrew it. This bracket wasn't being used. I'm not sure why, if I missed that in the past or whatever. But now we just need to swap this sensor over, get the crow's foot off, and put the new one in. All right, here is the new hose versus the old hose. They're very similar, but the undulations and the hard piping are just slightly different. Because we've got this section right here, it bends down a lot more than there. I think it'll work. It looks close enough, and there's a lot of soft line on there. Yeah, I think it should work. Interestingly, there's only one of these rubber things, so that should work since I only have one of these brackets to put it in. We'll see if I get this. I can probably pop that off and pop it onto that thing right there, but I don't know where it goes, so I'm not too concerned about that. This thing is held in place pretty well. And it also has the O-ring already installed on this side, so that's good. So we're good to roll forward with this. All right, so it's a new day working on the power steering hose. And the other night we were able to get the hose out and We got the, I guess it's a temperature sending unit. I'm not sure exactly what that sensor is, but we got it swapped over. I'm gonna double check and make sure it's tight. I think, I'm pretty sure I got tight. Then we're gonna work on throwing it in. So there's the hose. I put it back in the bag to keep it clean. Tried to cover up all the ports the other night to make sure no dirt got in. And yeah, there's the sensor wire back there. So let's start throwing that hose in here. It's gonna be fun. There's the sensor. Let's go ahead and start trying to feed it down into the engine. So this end, let's go all the way down and back around underneath everything. I was hoping this wouldn't be too hard, but it might be harder than I anticipated. I'm probably gonna have to crawl under there and see if I can feed that through. Well, I was able to get it fed through down there, and it looks like it'll line up. Interestingly, the hose almost seems a little too long because it's in down there, and I've got the brackets in about the right spot, and here we are. I have to push it up here to get it on that port, which I should probably do now so I don't get any dirt in there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get that on. I'm probably going to do this and then find out that I should have lined up everything else first, but I think we'll be okay. I just don't want any dirt to get in here. See, yeah, the hose feels like it's too long. But it can kind of push up that way, so it should be okay. Okay, so those are down in there all the way, finger tight. That should keep dirt out of there. I just need to remember to tighten that up before running it. Let me show you what it looks like underneath. Here's the new hose running right across there. So that's where I'm going to use that little bracket. There it is up there tying in to the steering rack. So I just need to get that tightened in there. And way over there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the sensor off the side of it there. Where it makes the corner and starts running up. And you might be able to just barely make out that loose bracket on there. I need to put somewhere. So before, there were two little brackets down here, not just this one rubber spot. There's another one, I think, right around there where it makes a funny dog leg. I lost that little piece, and there's not a second rubber insulator on it, so I'm just gonna leave it with this one and see if I can find a home for the other bracket over there. So I think from the factory there's like 3 supports. And here's me, it's crowded. These ramps don't get up quite high enough to make it easy. They get up high enough that it works, but it's not easy. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try to screw all this stuff in. So I don't know how well you could see under there, but for some reason, and I already could tell that this new hose was bent slightly differently on the pipe section, but it just doesn't quite line up with the support holes. So I would have to like force it over like a 1/2 inch, which would put a lot of tension on the end joint. So I think it's gonna be better just to leave it there. No, it's not great to have the hose unsupported at all because it can slightly, you know, wiggle around as pressure goes into the hose. It'll try to flex it around a little bit, but I really don't think it's going to be a problem. It'll probably last another 100,000 miles. All that said, I still think I'd like to see if I can find a spot for this third bracket to go, the one that was not used at all. So there's 3 brackets for this hose. 2 of them were used when I took it off, took off this old one. The third one was not. Those 2 that were used, I'm not using. So now I'm going to try to see if I can use the third one that was not used, which is on the rubber section, not the metal section. Basically at this point, I just need to tighten down the end connections and this thing should run because the sensor is plugged in, the hose is going from A to B, but we just don't want it to get in the way anywhere and start flexing and jumping around in there too much. So let's see if we can get oily and find a spot for this bracket. And if I can't find a spot for it, I'm just not gonna do anything really. I'm just gonna run it. And if it breaks, we'll put another hose in there. It's power steering, it's not a life or death thing like brakes. It's an aid, it's an assist. Your brakes go out, you can't stop. Power steering goes out, you can still steer, it's just harder to steer. Anyway, that's the way I'm approaching it. All right, I found a spot right here on the back of the engine, right there for the bracket to bolt down. And I think I'm gonna undo another one of these wire hold down points to remove some tension from the temperature sender or whatever. Glad to have found at least one support bracket. So now the only thing I need to tighten down is the steering rack side and we'll be done. looks pretty tight. This would be an awkward spot for a torque wrench. I'll tell you that. All right. Puppy works. I think that sums it up. I just need to clean up all my tools, top off the power steering fluid, and get off the ramps. I think we're done. I got this filled up just below the upper level on the reservoir. The hose is empty, so it's probably gonna be, it's probably gonna need more fluid here pretty quickly. Now it's the fun part. I'll start it up and you can see if there's leaks, and let me know what you see, because I'm inside the van, I can't see anything. Let's go ahead and check the fluid level. Yep, sucked it right down. Go ahead and top that off now, and the van really should be ready to go. The wheels going back and forth. I noticed that the pipe is not where it was originally, so I'm a little concerned about that. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I don't think it's going to move too much. I think I'm just going to have to run it and keep an eye on it. I don't think it's in the way of anything, but I'll have to think about that if there's any way I can re-secure the pipe down more effectively. But yeah, the van seems to be working great. I don't see any leaks, and I think this is another successful story here on Garage Story. I think it's a satisfactory conclusion for now. And we'll catch you guys next time. Keep making stories and stay safe.